Hello, everybody. We are back with another episode of Working Title. This is going to be the second to last episode for the year because, holidays and all. So I wanted to bring in two people that have made 2020 a little bit better for a lot of us, especially me, because this has been a rough year. So it's finally almost over. Let's hope the next one gets a little bit better. So I'm going to bring in our favorite married couple, as you will, when that's what they're going to be pitching today. They're going to be pitching a marriage that's not for love, green card marriage, arranged marriage, a shotgun wedding, if you will. Any of those are up for grabs. I have a feeling I know which ones they might go for there. Also, I wanted to throw in there, make it during the winter, and put an animal in there of some sort. Because why not? I need to put some extra in there and make it a little more difficult for you. Garth already trying to make sure this better not end in divorce. We will see how this goes at the end. So first, we are going to bring in our favorite host of Feature Presentation Productions, Tony.
I thought you were going to be Hailey after that introduction. Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm looking forward to this because after all of the jokes that have occurred over, I don't know, I think after the Aaron and Christina thing kind of faded, we went into this one. So
yeah.
We had
So if people don't know, me and Hailey are a totally legitimate married couple. This is totally not a way for me to get a green card to live in the USA. Hailey is not actually a lesbian with a girlfriend. That is a complete fallacy. If anyone from the CIA or anything is watching, please don't kick me out of your country when I arrive. We are happily in love.
This is very legit. This is all good. America, he's good. It's fine. And next we are going to bring in another wonderful person, the Glampire herself, Hailey. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very straight. How are you?
Oh,
your shirt even says straight.
That's true.
Great looking.
Yes, everyone watching CIA, etc. It's just that first line. That's all it is. Yeah, but looking forward to having you guys on here. This is going to be fun. I've always enjoyed having you guys on this. You guys both did great the other time, and now you get to go against each other. So this is going to be fantastic. I didn't do this before because I was too busy just having a conversation with you. But Hailey, you were on first. So would you want to do your pitch first, or would you rather Tony?
I guess we're going ladies first because I just want to go first. Suck it, Tony.
No.
I love the way this starts. This is going to be good. All right.
So we're going to start with our title. It's called The Christmas Card. And the tagline is, send your friend a green card this Christmas.
Well, just quickly before you start, not to backseat host, but do you want to quickly explain how this works?
I will. If anyone has not watched this before, sorry, I got distracted. I have a conversation with people I like on this show, so it becomes more difficult. What we're going to do is both of you are going to give me your pitch. You will get 5 minutes of time to give me the pitch. That'll be round one. Uninterrupted. Please do not interrupt each other as much as I know you guys are going to want to. For these 5 minutes, we'll keep it civil. After that, you're going to give a casting. Everyone, they're going to give me their cast, their stars, their supporting, a director if they know it. If they don't, doesn't bother me. I don't know directors anyway. Round 3, then they can go back and forth and yell at each other, talk to each other, tell me why theirs is good, the other sucks, etc., etc. So for anyone that has not seen this before, that's how this works. So we will start with round 1, which is hit me with your best plot. I know it's stupid, and I don't care. My show, I do what I want. That's what's happening. Hailey, you've decided to go first. Thank you, Tony, for helping me host because I'm still not to your level, but maybe one day. Maybe one day.
You don't want to be at my level. You want to aim for someone better.
Yeah, I'll nah. I mean, my spelling's good, but other than that, I'll
fuck you.
I know we have a 2-hour window, but I think we should apologize to Malcolm already.
I'll apologize to Malcolm for Sunday at this point.
Yeah, I was about to say Malcolm hosts Sunday, and we still should apologize to him.
Every show, we're just going to apologize to Malcolm, just in case. All right. Hailey, I do have your title. I already like it, but I will wait until you start talking, and then your 5 minutes will begin. I do have your 2 minute, 1 minute, 30-second, 10-second banners on here to make sure to pay attention to so you know what's going on. So whenever you are ready, you can start.
So this movie takes place in Philly, and it's about a group of friends, and they all meet over the break of quarantine. And so none of them had ever seen each other in person. And then a couple of years pass, Christmas comes along, and they have one friend who just doesn't live anywhere near them. His name is Timothy. He lives in the UK. And there's a character named Catherine who has a very fun idea to get him over here because he has nothing much going over there for him. He has so many friends and he has like a whole family over here. Let's get him married. But she's already married to a guy named Chad. And so she's like, Hailey, I have a perfect idea for you. You're single. You haven't had anyone in ever. Like, I don't think you're ever going to be with anyone. And then the friend, Hayden, was like, okay, what's your idea? She's like, let's get him over here with a green card. But she's like, then I'm like, okay, what are we doing? And she said, I got an idea. You're just gonna have to trust me through this. And so basically he comes over and Timothy and Hayden really don't have any chemistry. They're both gay. They're both like very, and so it's like, it's not really working. So no one's believing it. So she decides, hey, I'm going to start an Instagram for y'all and I'm going to run it. We're going to get really cute pictures with you. We're going to go around the city and I'll take care of it. So you'll have this online presence. Y'all look like the most beautiful couple ever. And that's exactly what she does. And at one point, we decide to adopt a little puppy. The little puppy's name is Dumpling. And it becomes a great point. And everything's working perfect. And we're amazing. And we start like going back on it a little bit because it seems everything's working out well. We got married. Catherine's the witness and everything's working out great. And then at one point, Hayden's like, hey, maybe I should like put myself out there because like I'm not in a romantic relationship. This is just a wedding, but I gotta be subtle about it. She meets up with a character named Blake and they have a lot of chemistry. Things are working out great, except there's an issue. One of them's married, but not in a romantic relationship. So there becomes this new conflict of, okay, you're married, but you want to get in a relationship, but like it's not really a marriage. And that's where the chaos ensues. There's going to be some great moments of dialogue, some great comedy. I have a lot of comedic actors here. We have a nice little friend nucleus with a nice ensemble cast. I will get into that in a little bit. There's going to be a lot of moving parts with different characters. And Hayden and Timothy are two very small parts in it. They're just kind of like the plot moving it forward. You're really there for everyone else. And like you see a lot of meetups with, you have Catherine, you have Parker, you have Alex, and you have Chad. And then you have Timothy and Hayden, and it's great. Yeah, I think I really got most of what I did. And then it kind of ends, everything's okay. Blake isn't really like freaked out by the whole marriage thing. And they work it out. And then 7 years pass. I think that's the time where you get citizenship with the green card, 7 or 8 years. I might be wrong on that. And then they divorce. There is an argument over Dumpling. And Hayden ends up getting Dumpling just because they do the classic, like, oh, come to me, run to me. And Dumpling comes to Hayden. And then Timothy finds love and everything's great. That's the movie.
That, I mean, doesn't sound purely a work of fiction. That is a
pure CIA.
Pure work of fiction. There's nothing that might actually be coming up down the pipeline. No ideas there.
No.
I mean, this is good. It's really does kind of. I like a lot of the fact that the two main characters, I'm not pointing at anyone, as I do that, aren't the main aspect of this movie. It kind of makes everyone else be important and use them as the plot device more than using them as the full plot. I think is a good idea. I like the way you did that. I mean, obviously, we've never discussed anything of this sort, and this has never been something that has been brought up in any way, shape, or form in any of our chats or in any of the shows. But I like the way you do it. I really do appreciate everything that you have, that you brought into it, all the little subtle. It sounds like it would be a fantastic, just Christmas movie. Something that even Hallmark would be like, that's too good for us. This is definitely going straight to
This is like Hallmark movie with chaos in it.
Yes, which it's the best kind.
Yeah.
I like it. I especially appreciate the tagline because that was fantastic. All right, Tony, let's see what you have coming down the pipeline here. So whenever you're ready, I will start your 5 minutes.
Okay, so a tiny bit different. All right, so I'm going back to the 1500s. So I'm talking about a woman called Catherine Parr. She is a woman that was married twice, lost two husbands, and in that time period, she was she was a weird anomaly of a woman. She was a woman that didn't need to marry for wealth. She didn't need to marry for power. She didn't need to marry for anything. She was set in the shade. She was already gone to the point where she was the first woman in history to ever have a book published under her own name at that time. And she fell in love with a man called Thomas Seymour. Thomas Seymour was the husband of Jane Seymour, former Queen of England, and they were getting together. They were in love. This was a beautiful relationship. And then comes along King Henry VIII. This is a biopic about the last Queen of England, called King Henry VIII, Catherine Parr. So if you don't know the story of that, so the situation was that by pretty much he proposed to her. It was a royal demand almost that she was to marry him. It was a case where so you go into this weird case of this gluttonous pig of a man at later end of the years, like marrying this young beautiful woman who's named after her godmother, who was Catherine Aragon, his first wife. So he reminds her of his first wife. It's all this, and it's like, and she's forced to marry this beast of a man. To be almost like a carer instead of a thing. So it's like divulge into that, and it's also the case that so the book I mentioned that she had a book. It was about very anti-Catholic because at the time King Henry VIII set up his own church of England, in order to get away with divorce and stuff. She was very anti the Pope. She was very anti that. So the story goes in the fact that she's being forced into this because otherwise, like, it was a crime to be that against the Pope at that time, even though they were out on the outs. So she was being forced into that, and there's a story about. So it was a winter time, so the king was ill, and she decided, oh yeah, this is my shot. I'm gonna try and talk to him about getting rid of all Catholicism in the country. This is gonna be the time. So she did that, and the Bishop Gardner, who was a high functioning priest, bishop in the community, overheard that conversation, and he was there going, "That's fucking heretical. You should kill her. Get gone. Get rid of her. She's dead." So it's this thing of this proud woman, this woman that never had to fight, that was being forced into this marriage, forced into being a subservient to this king who was a gluttonous pig, having to go like, all right, what do you believe in? Do you believe in your words, or do you believe in like keeping your own skin? And then so the situation, that moral turmoil, fighting over, and then her having to back down and say, oh no, and like be subservient to the king. And then so it's this tale of just like break her, just this inner turmoil of fighting it, and then it comes to the end. Obviously, it's the both beheaded died, the both beheaded survived. She's the one that's last past King Henry VIII. So you see those final days, you see her being free of this monster of a man, and to be able to get back to her true love, Thomas Seymour. All right, fuck you, Peggy. True love of Thomas Seymour, and then they have a child, and she actually dies in childbirth at the end of it. So it's this case of this story of just like she finally gets free of this marriage, she finally gets to be with the person that she loves, and then just to have it snatched away at the end. Just so, yeah. And then it's So in actual history, the story of when King Henry VIII actually proposed was over the winter period. So it'd be the case of we spent a lot of time in the winter time, like indoors, like an hour in between the two, the conversations about religion, everything like that. And yep, and she has a dog. It's not called Dumpling because it's not. That's a stupid name. But she has a little dog, and he gets kicked by the king a couple of times to show that he's a horrible person. He's not a good person.
Wow.
Yeah,
John Wick, poor kid.
Man. Oh, okay. That was something. Yeah, there's Peggy's. And then realized you did that wrong.
All right. No, we're gonna get into this. You just did a TV show and just said redo a reboot. I was actually taking history. There's a difference.
Is this me versus Tony or Tony versus Peggy?
Everything is Tony versus Peggy. We have to understand that just as a group, everything is Tony versus Peggy. But and yes, pretty much exactly what went through Tony's mind as he looked at the bottom of the scroll screen. Tony, you do seem to like going into the history with these. This is the second time you've been on here, and the second time you've done something that deals with history. So I apparently that's your style, is a period drama, if you will.
I like period films. What can I say?
I'm noticing that they are. I mean, these are both very different. Unexpected. I mean, I kind of expected one thing from Tony, and he went another way. Hailey, I liked your story. I kind of expected this to come out from one of you, but I do enjoy it. I like the extra you put into it. Next, I don't even know what to say about the King. I do not know enough information about King Henry VIII. I know a little bit. I know the song that Garth is. I know that. That is one thing I know very well. But I do enjoy the story. I do like it's a different thing. You kind of, if you like the historical pieces, the historical dramas, this definitely would be up there. Something that a lot of people in that realm would like. Next, I'm very curious about a little bit of this. I feel like Tony's going to go very British because that's what he does. But I would like to know your cast and crew, your casting call, if you will. Since you went second, we'll take who you got playing your Catherine and Henry VIII and all your people. You're not telling me who's playing the dog because you kicked the dog, so you keep that out of it.
The dog. You remember the artist? You remember the little dog from the artist? That's gonna be the little dog, and he's gonna look so cute, and he's just gonna follow around almost like Toto. And then King Henry is just gonna boot him just to show how much of a dick he is.
I hate you.
So
remember this comment? I feel like it's coming back to bite us.
Yeah. All right. So for my cast, actually, I'm going American with the cast because I feel that it would be interesting to have the tone, like them being able to pick up the accent and be more regal. So for Catherine part, I was thinking of going with Kate Mara. She's younger. She's younger enough. She's able to do the whole like inner turmoil stuff very well, and she'll be able to like carry this amazingly as the King Henry VIII. If you need someone that could really give the grandiose performance and like and be able to see why people would respect him, fear him, and just be able to be this horrible monster as well at the same time. And John Goodman would be perfect at that. For the Thomas Seymour, the love interest, and that I was thinking of. Just get his name just so I can be 100% because I didn't get his name because it's a weird one, but I think he would work really well. Alden Ehrenreich or Ehrenreich.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Solo from Solo film. He has that performance about him where he can be like stoic and like be able to be like the more reserved and like, play that well. I feel. Yeah. And then for director, I would go with Justin Chadwick, the name that you might not recognize, but he did the best period film of the last 20 years, The Other Bowling Girl. He also did Mandela Long Walk to Freedom, so he knows that world well, and he'll be able to put a fantastic work together to make something work with this.
Okay, very very simple. Not a lot of characters in it, so that makes it nice and easy. Actually, I didn't know the director until you said it, but I've heard of the other Bowling Girl. I know Christina loves that movie,
Yeah.
so sure he would be good. It's definitely a period piece. First, when you said Thomas Seymour, I thought you were saying Aaron Eckhart, and I was like, that seems wrong for age difference, but okay. But I got you now. That does make a lot more sense.
Shit, sorry. I also because there's the bishop in there as well, the one that's like challenging her. I would do that as Mark Gatiss.
So Mark
Got it. Yeah. He's microphones in Sherlock and all that. So someone that could be the prim and proper show, the British class. That very much.
That was excellent. I appreciate the British class that you
British class
here. All right. Sorry, you are getting just torched there. And I'll even though you have a dog.
I hate cats.
Clint is awesome. I'm just saying that right now. All right. Hailey, for your cast, I could not be more interested on who you're casting for this. So who do you got?
So I'm going to dip a little bit into these characters so you get a little bit of the flavor of this movie. So let's start with Timothy and Hayden. Timothy is going to be played by Paul Hetty. By the way, Timothy is spelled the same way Timothy Chalamet is. Don't mess that up.
I will 100% mess that up.
Paul Reddy, he is a TV actor. He was in the show Utopia. He's a British actor, and all I'm going to do is show you his face. There he is. That guy. And then Hayden's going to be played by Lizzie Kaplan. She played Janice in Mean Girls. She was in The Night Before. She's great. We love her. And then Catherine's going to be played by Elizabeth Berkley. She is Jessie in Saved by the Bell. If you don't know her, here is her face. There she is. Then our other characters. So Chad, who is Catherine's husband.
Yeah, Catherine. Definitely Catherine.
Of course, absolutely no one was expecting that. And then we're going to have two other friend characters that are in this group. We see a lot of their hangouts doing bar trivia. Jason Mantzoukas is going to play a character named Alex. Chelsea Peretti from Brooklyn Nine-Nine is going to be playing a character named Parker. And Blake is going to be played by Kate McKinnon. Yes, this is my application to fall in love with Kate McKinnon.
Understandable.
We're also going to have director Jodie Foster. She has done a couple movies, including a Christmas movie in the directing world. We all know her as a fantastic actor. I want to do a lot of the writing for this for very obvious reasons. But for a little bit of help, I'm going to pick, I feel like there's no one else I could pick other than Clea Duvall, who just did Happiest Season. I really loved a lot of the dialogue in that movie. So I'm picking her. But also, I don't want her making toxic partners. So she's just going to be a co-writer and help like the dialogue and the nice little bits and pieces. And last movie I had a soundtrack. I wanted to make a soundtrack for this one, but it was just going to be a bunch of Christmas music. That's boring. So that's what I have.
Okay, I actually did miss who you had playing Chad for a moment there.
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans.
You know what? I don't know why I didn't just like that already. I heard that's obvious, and I was just like, did I miss something? I did. Okay, got it. Perfect. Yeah, understood. You're getting some love for Kate McKinnon.
Kate McKinnon.
We love her.
Lovely.
Just in case. We are just hitting all bases. And Peggy. All right. I really.
Who's gonna tell Peggy?
I don't know. You will.
I'm good.
Nope, that's you. I think it's very interesting. Elizabeth Berkley is quite a call. Her after the Showgirls fiasco, which hopefully no one remembers, but the Saved by the Bell makes a whole lot of sense. And yeah,
that movie never happened.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. That one.
That never happened. That movie never existed.
That's best for everyone. I really like it. I like it. Like Jodie Foster, a little bit of a different director. You might not expect that, but I think that that would be solid. That would be a good idea. And I mean, really, I can see pretty much everyone both he picks. As always, the cast is always really good. I can see it as I thinking about the movie and think about the plot and everything. Now, I almost need to put a time limit on this because I'm worried about you two, but now comes the part of the movie that everyone loves to watch, the comment section, where you two get to tell me why yours is better than the other, what is wrong with the other person's. Be gentle, be nice. If I hear you guys start repeating the same thing over and over again, I will put a stop to it, and then I'll give you like a 30-second final thing. So we'll ring the bell whenever you guys are ready. Go for it. Let's see what happens.
Okay, my movie's immediately better for one reason and one reason alone. A dog does not get kicked in my movie. What else do I have to say?
Hey, sometimes animal abuse works for the cinema, but I'm just going to read something out. Green Card is a 1990 romantic comedy film written, produced, and directed by Peter Weir and starring Gerard Depardieu and Andy McDowell. The screenplay focuses on an American woman who enters into a marriage convenience with a Frenchman so he can obtain a green card and remain in the United States. Depardieu won the Golden Globe for Best Actor. The film won the Golden Globe for Best Motion Picture, Musical, and Comedy, and was nominated for an Oscar for Best Original Screenplay.
I'm not going to disregard that. First of all, these movies are very different. First of all, this is a Christmas movie. Second of all, the dude named Timothy, not Tony, is coming from England. Second, there's going to be a lot of fun, like, Philadelphia moments. Like, this is going to be a very Philadelphia-heavy movie. There's going to be a lot of heart to this movie and a lot of very, like, personal touches that are really, like, unique to it. And you can even say it's similar to The Proposal when it really isn't. Like, just because there's a green card situation doesn't mean it's going to be just like Green Card. I mean, you can argue how many Henry VIII movies there are.
There are very few Henry VIII movies. It's actually a weirdly untapped potential here, especially if you also, there's only one or two King Henry movies, and they all focus on the beginning of his life, the break of the church, Catherine of Aragon, and Boleyn, stuff like that. However, if you look further up, but there's nothing apart. The only thing that's really ever talked about Catherine Parr is the Tudors final season, and that was well done as one of the best seasons because of the story of Catherine Parr. And taking this and taking the idea of this feminist role of this woman who is in a position of power taken away from her and regains it slowly over time, risks it all to try and does the change of in that would work really powerful, and it would be a really good platform to give Kate Mara some Oscar buzz, Oscar worthy potential. I also finally will get John Goodman the ability to get an Oscar because god damn it, he deserves one after all this time.
Now, cool thing about this movie that you really can't do with that movie is a lot of movies that have like a really good ensemble, especially when they have like a really good friend group, even TV shows. Like you look at Friends, you look at Always Sunny in Philadelphia, you look at Mean Girls. When the friend group is that good and there's like that much chemistry and it's written well and there's good dialogue moments, is what I plan to have. You get so many people being like, okay, who's the Chad of our friend group? Who's the Timothy of our friend group? And I would love to see those conversations happen. And those conversations will happen with this movie existing. And that will be really cool. Who's going to be like, wow, who's the King Henry VIII of our friend group? Who is going
However, your story is just taking a romantic comedy trope and just taking out the love interest, adding in a dog and putting a rainbow flag in it. Like, if you're going to...
movies need a rainbow flag in it.
I like my movies too, however...
There's not a rainbow flag in yours.
That's just the 1500s. Weirdly, they're not allowed back then. But no, it's one of the situations where at least your story really relies on the old tropes or the old characteristics of like the romantic comedy, just like playing on them. So if you're not a fan of the romantic comedies, you won't really be able to fit into that film because what you're talking about really is like looking at a slanted view of them, whereas mine would work as a drama, would work as a piece on its own without having to go in any knowledge of prior, like of like having any film knowledge of like, oh yes, I've watched like When Harry Met Sally, I know the tropes of like a romance. I've seen like Kramer vs. Kramer, the dog, so having a child as the center of the fight instead of a dog, it's like.
So, what's really fun with mine and not with yours is that I know way too many people who just really don't like period pieces. and I've noticed, and I'm using myself as an example for this because I can personally speak to this because I finally watched a gay rom-com. A lot of rom-coms are just like, they're not unpopular because they're rom-coms, or it's not because someone's taste. It's usually because they're unrelatable to a certain demographic, the demographic being, and this one will be, at least you could see, you can relate to the chemistry a little bit. You can relate to the relationship dynamic. I mean, you weren't gonna like be like, oh wow, I'm married, but I'm dating someone. Like, not that much, but like, you're gonna be able to see, oh, I want to root for this character, or oh, I find this character to be more relatable than I would a straight counterpart.
However, it's one of those things that it feels very much like wasting potential of like having an idea and just like wasting those characters on a story that has already pretty much been told. Whereas it's that case you could do a lot more in that field, like telling an actual like a lesbian love story, or doing like a gay love story and actually making it like something that could actually stand the test of time, rather than be something that sounds very much like the drinking buddies of the day. And who remembers drinking buddies?
Do you watch Always Sunny? Okay, never mind.
No, I don't watch Always Sunny because I like good comedy.
Oh, this is turning into another fight. Okay, never mind. But like, we
Also,
all know about King Henry VIII. Like, with, yeah, you don't require that knowledge, but it's like, it's knowledge that's already been told, and it's already been told a lot. Like, he's pretty much everyone knows him.
It's one of those ones where
So like, both of these
he's such an important
overdone in some way, one in history, one in film.
He's such an important historical character that he does need more retelling, because also the stuff that he represents of just the idea of gluttony, the idea of greed, the idea of power and paranoia. It's like that could work really well for taking today and looking at oligarchs and all that stuff. It would be a really good parallel towards it, and also the idea of a woman being able to stand on her own 2 feet and all that jazz. But yeah, it's like also,
I'm going to reiterate. In my movie, a dog does not get kicked. I think at that point needs to be driven across several times.
All right. I think when the dog kick point is brought again, I will put a 30-second finisher for both of you. Hailey, if you want to give me 30 seconds, just a kind of closing argument. I'm not timing this, but just like a quick closing argument. Give me an idea why yours is better.
See, I'm going to be honest, I made a Christmas movie for myself. I'm more for Christmas comedies that were more, I don't know, more involved, a little bit less Christmas cheesy and more comedy cheesy, and a rom-com that I could relate to a little bit. Also, I'm not a huge fan of period pieces. I know a lot of people that don't like period pieces. I know a lot of people that we all know what happened with Henry VIII. And we all know like he was crazy and he liked to divorce, and he created an entire sect of Christianity just so he could divorce. I don't need to hear that again. And my movie's great, and I will reiterate once more, a dog does not get kicked in my movie.
Solid closing argument. Very solid. Tony, closing argument for you.
So The Favourite came out a couple of years ago. That was highly touted as one of the best films of that year. Downton Abbey's been one of the bigger TV shows in the 21st century. So period films do have a place, and they are important because not only do they tell the history, but they also give a good glimpse of the future and the present. It's one of those things of, if you don't look at your history, you're doomed to repeat it. Whereas, so it's important to tell these stories. It's important, especially to find characters in history like Catherine Parr that doesn't get talked about, that doesn't get the attention and love that she deserves, of being a person that went through so many trials and tribulations and got through the other side, of being able to be a feminist icon that she truly deserves to be. She's done so, but she falls into the thing of just, oh, she's the one that survived, she's the one that did that, so why? Whereas we look at Hailey's story, and it's just like, it's one of those ones where if you want another Drinking Buddies movie, find out what day you are. But yeah.
All right. Yeah, these are, as always, two very different takes on what I've given you. One of you actually decided to use an animal in it. The other one remembered at the last second. But that's okay. Hailey, I do understand you are pandering very, very much towards the person that is hosting this by using Philadelphia a lot. And I'm okay with that. I accept
That
that.
was not intentional. I'm pandering to one person, and they are not on this stream.
Well, the pandering worked. You're also, yeah. I also know who else you're pandering to, and that she would appreciate all of it. I do like both these ideas. Hailey, yours is very much more the rom-com style. Tony, I understand your argument of saying it's the same thing as every other rom-com, but every rom-com is a rom-com, and they keep making them, and they keep making money. So it's hard. Also, I do appreciate that it is a little different than the Green Card movie because that was the classic, or the proposal where it was a classic girl or guy get the green card for the other person, but then they fall in love. This is a little bit of a different take on that, which I appreciate. It adds a different element in the end. Tony, a lot of people might not like period pieces. I have recently started to enjoy them more. Just watching Emma, I really need to see The Favorite. I've been trying to find it for a while, but I do enjoy those. I do think that they are good, and it is. You're right. King Henry VIII and John Goodman does deserve some recognition for all the work he does because it's very good. The only thing that kind of reminds me of when you put him as King Henry VIII is King Ralph, and that's not something a lot of people need.
That was purposeful because the idea of, you have that idea of Joseph as king in your head, and then you can transfer that into the King Henry VIII performance, so it actually builds onto the history of it.
Makes sense.
Quick question.
Potential answer.
Does King Henry VIII ever point a gun at someone and go over the line at any point in this movie? Just curious.
7 times.
Okay, well, then Tony wins.
Yeah.
That's I really do like both these pitches. I do appreciate you guys went very different directions for them. In the end, for this one, the critics' choice of it all, obviously this means absolutely nothing because I will this time put a post up and a poll and people will vote. So we'll see what happens. But in the end, I mean, I'm going to go with Hailey's because I enjoy this movie more. I like the idea of it not being centered around the two people like a lot of these other ones are, the proposal centered around there. I could go for another Drinking Buddies movie. That doesn't bother me at all. And I feel like this might have a little bit of a different take to it. Tony, yours still is very good, but it is a lot of historical. Was hoping for something maybe Hailey had, I'm not going to say it's fully creative because this is something that a lot of us have created over time, but it does have a little bit more of the creativity that I was looking for. I know you did a ridiculous amount of research into this, but it's a little more biographical, I believe. So I would go with Hailey's for this, but obviously this is going to go into the poll. So everyone out there vote. Let me know which one you think you would rather watch. I think Peggy also finally figured it out. So none of us, we're all off the hook. So as always, I'll finish this up. Tony, I appreciate you coming on here again. I always love. Well, you know what? Now Peggy's just going to.
I was robbed.
Yikes. Tony's always appreciate you on here.
It's fine.
But do you a little different than the sports one last time? As always, I'll ask this every time. You enjoy being on here, and anything else you might want to try to pitch another time?
No, I hate the show. I hate all of you. I hate everything in life. I'm actually retiring from everything now. Good day.
Yay!
Well,
you finally broke me. Fuck you. Fuck all of you. No, this was always fun. I want to try something different. I want to try something where you just give 5 things and just the most random things, and you have to work them in. That'd be fun. But it's just give me the most bizarre stuff ever. I'm happy to try.
I like that. Yeah. Once next year starts, I'll have a couple weeks to kind of get a better idea of a bunch of different things. If anyone out there has any ideas that they think, I know Hailey's been giving me some really good ones. If you have an idea you think would be fun that you don't want to do, that for someone else to have to do, you can send them to me. It works for me. Hailey, that was a great pitch, obviously, since I picked it. But is there any other type of thing you might want to pitch? This is your second time on here, and both times you're doing great.
Maybe I'm up for anything. Like Tony said, I think it'd be really cool to get 5 random things that sound like they have nothing to do with each other, and do that. A musical, I don't know, but I also want to say that Tony's movie idea was really amazing, and I really commend him for doing 2 hours of research of information for this movie. But also, suck it, Tony.
You got green on you.
I also have red on me.
Yeah, but you got green. I just noticed. Well,
And
I mean, love, darling. Like,
oh, I love you too, sweetie.
I mean, you might need to check a mirror. I mean, what? Nothing.
Okay. I also want to add a little pitch. I just dropped a sign up thing in FPP. There's going to be a deep cuts match on January 19th. It's all about the Iron Giant. If you've ever seen that movie, if you've never seen that movie and now you decide that you want to watch it, if you want to do deep cuts, these are going to be tough questions. And I need 4 competitors. Y'all need to sign up.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. And that is a great movie. If you haven't seen it, you really should watch it. Tony, what else do you have going on FPP coming up this week?
All right, so Feature Presentation Productions, youtube.com/channel/Feature Presentation Productions. This week, we had Monday was enough Bill Carriola. Him and Andrew Barr did Hard Ticket to Hawaii. I know this platform's got a lot of love over in the Trivia League over here, so that works well. That is very true. Wednesday, it was Fancy Film Facts. We did great stand-up comics performances in films. That was really fun. And then this weekend, so after the Schmodown Spectacular, your good self, we are announcing this now. It's Quotation Quest 4.
Say it.
No, I was gonna let you do it. It's your
it's called Ghost Protocol. Fourth one.
Yeah, so that'll be happening as soon as Schmodown Spectacular is over. Hopefully it'll be 7 p.m. Eastern, depending on history. But if it goes later, I'll just cry in the background. It'll be fine. Sunday, FPTL regular team match is back up as always. So sign-up sheet is going to be up for another hour or two. So if you are interested, put your name down. But yeah, please like, subscribe to all the things. Go support Adelaide under here. Go support Anthony. Listen to everyone. And yeah, thank you.
All right, perfect. There you go. That's what we got going on. For anyone else out there that's watching that wants to be on this, message me, let me know, post in the comments, Wimping Like Trivia, hit me up on Facebook. It's perfectly fine. You don't need to know movie trivia to pitch a movie. This is for absolutely anybody. So come, bring it. I want to hear people bring out some weird stuff. That's what I want. So for me, for Hailey, I'll get better at that. For Hailey, for Tony.
I'm Hailey.
I'm Tony.
I'm Timothy.
Yeah. I'm going to say goodbye now, and we'll see you all the next time. Later.